Hi, I'm Sue Frank. I'm exhibition curator of American Impressionism paintings from the Phillips Collection. And today we're in the galleries of the Phillips Collection looking at this exhibition that features more than 26 American painters who took inspiration from their French colleagues. They were inspired to leave their studios and go out into the countryside and paint light, air, and atmosphere in subjects that were as much about the American landscape as they were about the city. And so let's look first at an example by Childe Hassam, who is the artist that we think of as the American Monet. And the example that we're looking at is called Washington Arch Spring and dates from 1893. It is really one of the treasures of American Impressionist painting. And what we're looking at is the southern end of Fifth Avenue in New York. And we see Washington Arch on a crisp spring day. And Hassam was a Bostonian who had been painting in the city of Boston for many years before he moved to France for about 4 years in the late 1880s. And when he came back to the United States in 1890, he found inspiration in the city of New York, where he spent the rest of his career. This painting really shows us all the things that Hassam was inspired to include in his fresh look at the city of New York. He has taken this lighter pastel palette from his French mentors, and he has used broken brushstrokes throughout the painting, but especially you can see in this area where the carriage and the street cleaner are, as well as in the leaves on these trees that are just budding out. These broken brushstrokes, along with these lighter colors, really helped convey the idea that we're looking at atmosphere and that there is a kind of vibration to the light that we experience when we are outdoors. And Hassam has also given us a very modern composition in this look at the modern city at the end of the 19th century. We have this very empty expanse of sidewalk at the bottom of this vertical composition with a blue lavender shadow that stretches across the entire space of the sidewalk. And this emptiness is contrasted with this fan of delicate tree branches that are just beginning to turn green. So it's like a fan that is spread before us in front of the arch that we see through this screen. Hassam really is focusing on the arch as a symbol of the city of New York. The arch had just been completed in 1892, and the city was very proud of it. And so it really kind of made more of a statement about how New York was as modern as the city of Paris, which was the focus of so much of the artistic activity at the end of the 19th century. And Hassam also gives us the intersection of different classes of society in New York. This lovely lady in pink walking down the sidewalk, a nanny pushing a baby carriage, the carriages with horses, but also the street cleaner. Because at this point, at the early 1890s, New York was very interested in making the city fresh and beautiful. And so this really is a wonderful example of how American painters brought this new aesthetic of Impressionism into American subject matter. And just a kind of interesting story about how Hassam would paint these street scenes at this time in the 1890s. He didn't really want to be so visible to the pedestrians on the street, and so he would generally hide in a Hassam cab, set up his paint box and his canvas, and paint discreetly, unviewed by the passing people on the street, but he could go and observe this very lovely and genteel and bourgeois image of the new modern city. And so let's go and look at another work. This one by a contemporary, but it is a beach scene, and we'll go see work by William Glackens.